properly, he said, and held out a hand to invite her forward. Where's the rest of your group? We're it, she said. Gaia stepped into the firelight, and now that the burst of fear that had given her strength was receding, she doubted she could stand for long. The campsite, she knew, must reveal how she'd been reduced to the last, pathetic shreds of survival. He picked up the baby bottle. She watched his gaze settle on the sling that crossed her chest, and the protective hand she kept there. He jogged up the brim of his hat with his thumb, in obvious surprise. You have a baby? Gaia braced a hand against the tree trunk. You don't have any baby formula with you, do you? I don't usually carry that. What's in this? He gave the bottle a little shake, and the translucent liquid caught the golden firelight. Rabbit broth. She won't take it anymore. She's too weak. A girl, even. Let me see her. She curved back the edge of the sling for him to see, as she had done 1,000 times since she'd left the enclave. She checked her sleeping sister to see if she was still breathing. Firelight flickered over the little pinched face, bathing it in brief color before sending it back to black and white. A delicate vein arched along Maya's right temple, and a breath lifted her little chest. The man touched a finger to the baby's eyelid and lifted it a moment, then let it go. He gave a sharp whistle, and the horse came nearer. Here we go then, milady, he said decisively. The outrider lifted Gaia from the ground and up to the saddle. She grabbed the pommel to balance herself, and Maya, and swung a leg over. He passed her the bottle and her cloak, then collected her meager things into her pack and slung it over his own shoulder. Where are we going? Gaia asked. To Sylum, as directly as we can. I hope it's not too late. Shifting, she tried to arrange some of the fabric of her dress between herself and the saddle. She could feel the dark, cool air touching her legs above the tops of her boots. When the outrider swung up behind her on the horse, she instinctively leaned forward, trying not to crowd against him. His arms encircled her as he reached for the reins, and then he kicked the horse into motion. Hey, Spider. The horse's movements seemed jerky to Gaia at first, but when her hips relaxed into the horse's stride, the ride became smoother. Behind them, the gibbous moon was low on the western horizon, casting a light strong enough to create shadows in their path, and Gaia peered to her right, toward the south, to where the enclave, and all she'd left behind, had long ago dropped beneath the dark horizon. For the first time in days, Gaia realized she might live, and hope was almost painful as it reawakened inside her. Inexplicably, she thought of Leon, and a lightless, lonely feeling surrounded her, as real as the outrider's unfamiliar protective arms. She'd lost him. Whether he lived or died, she would never know, and in a way, the uncertainty rivaled the unhappiness of knowing definitively that her parents were dead. Her sister could well be next. Gaia reached her hand into the sling, easing her fingers between layers of fabric so that she could feel the baby's warm head in the palm of her hand. She made sure the cloak couldn't smother the little face, and then she let her eyes close. She nodded gently with the rhythm of the horse. Maya is dying, she said, finally admitting it to herself. The man didn't reply at first, and she thought he must not care, but then there was a careful shifting behind her. She may die, he confirmed quietly. Is she suffering now? Not anymore, she thought. Maya's crying before had been hard to bear. This was a much quieter, more final form of heartbreak. No, Gaia said.